If
is
I
to
ever have to
invent
teach
incognito
child
mode
math,
for calculators.
if I ever have to teach child math, I'm gonna take a shot right beforehand.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
You see here, Timmy, math was invented by the government to keep you down.
See, the problem is if you're doing that, then you're already in the middle of the homeschooling route, which, you know, I mean, if you're doing a good job, then that kid will be fine. But there's a lot of people that don't do a good job, and the homeschooled kid ends up being a little bit
I
weird.
mean, the ideal situation for most people, I would assume, is you go to school and they hit them with the basics, and then you help them with their homework, and you fill in the blanks on the shit their teachers don't have time for.
Sure.
Like the fact that when I went to high school, the phrase World War II was uttered literally one time.
That's crazy.
And it was in response to how the average Quebecer did not want to join up in the war because they didn't want to help out the British because fuck the British.
That's crazy.
And that was the only part of my history class that dealt with World War II.
Huh. No, ours went into more depth than that. Our books were I think it was grade 10 went into a bit more than that. But
Quebec history classes are very, very Quebec central.
I mean, dude, I don't know, man. My stuff was like grade 11 was Canada specific. Grade 9 was like world, like ancient times until modern day.
I also went to one of the shittiest high schools in the province.
Yeah, okay. No, like our high school normal curriculum, grade 9 was like history of everything, like ancient times to modern day, like, you know, and then 10 was modern history, which included World War II, which included basically everything 20th century, you know.
I did like 8 months one year on like the Quiet Revolution.
Okay.
And I was like, man, no one cares.
And yeah, and grade 11 was all, you know, coureur de bois and the métier. And
hey, you want to learn about the fucking fur trade? No.
Well, do you want to graduate?
Fine.
Yeah, so that's what we did. Anyways, what the fuck? I don't know.
I hated history so much until I became like completely out of the school system. Like once I had my university degree and was just reading history shit for fun, oh wow, history rules. I love learning historical stuff. I did not have a single history anything in like 17 years of school at any point that I was interested in at all.
It came back around for me. I remember early on with when I met Punch Mom, like she had like a huge blank spot for all things history related, and it was like, this is fucked up because like I graduated, but I just didn't pay attention to any of it, so I remember nothing about history. And that's how like we found out about the hardcore history podcasts and like all that Dan Carlin stuff, where like it's like recapping in depth something that used to just be a really long wiki dive, you know. So yeah, I don't know, but it's still leisurely and for fun. But ultimately, it's interesting, and I don't know. You kind of feel like you should know some stuff as an adult, you know, when there's these blank spots.
I'm like every day I find out something that I feel like, how am I 35 and I'm finding this out now?
Yeah, like, you know, well, Indonesia, for example. So
good.
That's
yeah.
So
that would have been nice to know. Well, no, actually, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know, it helps. It helps. Anyway, that is what. Yeah. Let's just dodge. I was gonna go like the only other place I was gonna go is something about homeschooling, but we can dodge that. I think everybody knows the deal there. So.
Well, then you end up weird, like Daniel, the kid that went to my high school after being homeschooled for 10 years. He was really nice though.
He went to normal school, so then he started learning what it meant to socialize.
He went to normal school starting in grade 10.
Yeah, that's really late.
It was very late.
I don't know anyone who was homeschooled who is fully normal when it comes to just sociability. It's just a problem. And
Daniel was like a really great kid. It's just that all he could talk about was Jesus, school, and martial arts, at which he was a freak at. He was like built like a fucking pine knot.
Yeah, that's the kind of person, if you're trying to create that person deliberately, that's the way to do it.
Probably the nicest person I've ever known in my entire life, if I actually were to think about it. But I didn't want to ever hang out with him because he was too weird.
Yeah, the problem is just they spend like the next decade trying to figure out how people work.
No, because he probably went right into preaching.
Oh, well, fair enough. You sidestep it. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, in my experience, I've met a couple people, and I know I have some friends that were homeschooled, and yeah, it's always like you're delaying whatever you instill at home. You're delaying their ability to like talk to other kids and just get used to what that is like, you know.
Remember reading articles on like homeschooling your kids and like cutting out TV for your kids, for example. Like, and this is like in the mid 90s. It's like you may think you're keeping them from like bad influences on TV, but having your child not know what The Simpsons are will do more damage in that one thing than any possible gain. Because they have to go exist in a community with other kids, and that makes them an outsider.
Yeah, that was ultimately, I believe, the thing with like phones and social media that like I remember multiple parents coming to the conclusion on was just like, okay, well, if you want your kid to not have a phone or any social media, they're now the weirdo that doesn't exist online. Yeah. And that will be more detrimental than whatever you're afraid of, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I have a kid, they'll obviously have to get a phone, but I will just, check their phone randomly for bullshit. Because children are liars. You know how I know that? Because I was a child with internet access, and I was a liar.
Yep. Yep. I mean, you gotta like, if it's an elaborate hustle, you gotta respect it, and then punish. You know, but the ingenuity that comes with like finding creative ways to bend the rules is I'm the kind of dad that would respect it, you know. Just can't let it fly. But hey, that talent's gonna go somewhere.
You gotta tell the kids about the birds and the bees early now, because of the internet. You don't want
earlier than usual.
You don't want them to ask why your area has so many hot singles as like one of the first points of conversation.
Well, it used to be Toby on the playground knows more than
about 4.
So it used to be Toby on the playground tells all the other kids because he knows some shit that they don't, and he got hands on a magazine, you know. And then there was going out into the woods and finding a stash of fucking Playboys or something. And those days don't exist. Fuck that. It's happening immediately right away. So, yeah, you're going to have to fucking step in at a much earlier point than you would otherwise want to. Yeah. You know? God, like, my dad just,
I can already feel like a whole story just behind your eyes.
It was like he tried to take the social worker approach to this shit, and it was just so awful and bad. And like, we're sitting there, you know, and we're all like, dude, we know, just stop. You don't, like, you never, ever, ever step in to do anything like this, and now you want to try because you feel some kind of response. Fuck off. Like, you know. And I remember just like, this was, yeah, it was the type of shit where, I mean, God bless. Like, I have a funny cousin of mine who, when we were all living together, like, you know, when you did something bad, you'd get licks. You know, that was it. You got your spanking, you got your beats when you fucked up, and
Yeah, sure.
like with him, everyone, like, that's how our family worked. But like with my dad in particular, he'd sit you down and try to go through the interrogation process and do the social work angle on it. And I remember, like, my cousin had to sit down and answer the questions, and like after 3 of them, he was just like, "Oh God, just beat me, just, just beat me, dude. I can't take this, man. Just give me the licks, you know." Because it was the worst, cringiest angle on it, and like, yeah, that bird and the bees discussion shit was like, oh,
Yeah, because like when I was
deep soul
when
cringe.
I was a youngin, I got the variation of like, I found out it's like, well, what my parents made the mistake, because my first question had nothing to do with sex. I was a little baby and I was like, how do ladies get pregnant? And this was followed. God, you know, kids are assholes. This was followed by me in a Woolco, if you remember Woolco, yelling out, "Mommy, why is that lady so fat?"
Yeah. Yeah.
To which she's explained to me that she's pregnant and was pregnant. Oh, she got a baby in there. How did you get a baby in there? Well, when 2 people love each other very much and they kiss, a baby shows up in the stomach.
That's how
so
it
then
happens.
I'm like 6 years old and I kiss the neighbor girl, and I start to lose my fucking mind because, oh no, I'm like a child. I can't have a baby.
Well, then why'd you kiss her?
Did my parents laugh their fucking asses off at me?
Well, then why'd you kiss her?
Because she was hot.
Well, consequences. Actions. Anyway.
I think that might be the hardest my dad has ever laughed in his life.
Yeah, that's
like,
one of the,
like bordering on pointing at me.
Yeah,
and
it's
laughing
because it's one of those darndest things moments that you put in the album. You know, yeah, and you go, why? So that's why that lady looks fat. It's the baby, and then the lady goes, "I'm not pregnant."
Well, then you both have to leave.
Yeah.
Then you both have to leave.
Time to learn
You
the
have to
other.
go.
Time to learn the other family secret, the JoJo family secret.
Oh. So that one, like, I can't remember how that happened. I don't remember how that played out. I assume since the person was pregnant, ha ha ha, children, right? But the ones where it's like, yo, Dad, what's wrong with that guy's face?
Yeah.
Is like,
yeah.
No, that's not what it was. It was, why is that guy so ugly?
Oh, man. Oh, kid.
And it's like, oh.
Well, because
I
God
was
hates
4
hates
years
him and
old.
loves
I can
you.
barely talk.
Yeah. And then the lesson is not about about the answer to that question. The lesson is about indoor voice and the concept of earshot.
Now, luckily, I'll tell you what, here's a family story for y'all. I don't think I've ever told you this one. Luckily, I got like it easy on that. I didn't really get into trouble. I just got told that's rude. Don't do that. That's very mean to other people. Because prior to me, my brother, half brother, for the purposes of this story, pulled the ultimate variation of this shit, where he's out shopping with my mom, who is his stepmom, and he's like 6 or 7, and she won't get him some bullshit that he wants, right? So what does he do? He starts screaming and wailing in French exclusively that this lady is not his mother and that he needs help. And my mom at the time couldn't speak French. So people start to come up to her. Like that kid and my sister as well, bilingual since the day you're born kind of thing. So that motherfucker knew exactly what he was doing.
Holy fuck. Yeah, no. The step above. Like that is a hatched scheme.
Try and get her arrested.
Yeah, basically. That is fucking evil. That's okay. Well, all right. The good son.
He was evil right away.
Fucking
right away.
Macaulay Culkin. Yeah. All right.